Matt Santagapita from the Santa Sells Houses team, and this is another episode of our Monday Market Update. So this past week, we saw new listings come in at 229, conditionals at 54, and pending sales at 151. So what have we seen this week in comparison to the previous week? Well, last week, we hit a record for number of new listings, and that was 246. So we've come down about 20, but either way, we're in the top 5 weeks for new listings. Conditional sales have dropped off, so they've eased a little bit. However, pending sales are up. So overall, again, it's a pretty typical, call it summer market. We are easing into vacation time, so generally speaking, you do see the market intensity kind of, I don't want to say die off because it doesn't die off completely, but things do slow down. With the heat comes vacations and going to the beach. So, that's kind of what we're hitting now, is this bit of this summer market. So if you're a buyer, this is your time to capitalize. And why do I say that? I say that because there is a decent amount of inventory out there. And if you're pre-approved and you can afford a home right now, I think right now might be your best time to jump into the market. And why I believe that is we're seeing finally inflation is coming down closer to that 2% mark that the Bank of Canada wants. So we just hit 2.8% inflation, which is great. We're still off by a little bit, and they still want to see it come down, but hopefully that happens in the coming months. If you want to read a little bit more about that, there's a blog post I did about rent prices and inflation and everything. It'll be in the description. But why I say you should buy now is because let's just be honest here. I think everybody's having swim parties, backyard barbecues, or all these different gatherings, and I think one big topic is coming up, and that is how expensive everything is getting, how interest rates keep going up, and the cost of living. We're all getting pinched or squeezed, however you want to word it, and I think it's a pretty general consensus to say we've kind of all had enough. At least that's what I've observed from what people are saying, and so what I believe is going to happen is most likely in the next 12 months, barring nothing major crazy happens. So none other big, crazy, massive events globally occur. Let's just say things kind of stay in Canada, pretty blah like they always do. I do think interest rates are going to become political, and I do think when they do become extremely political, they're going to start cutting them. Whether or not that's for right or wrong reasons doesn't really matter. I just think that's what's going to happen. So for right now, let's say a 5-year fixed rate, we're hovering just over 5%, let's say 5.25%. I honestly have no idea what it is today, but it's around there. But I know that there's a lot of pent-up demand. And can you imagine what is going to happen in the market if all of a sudden, and maybe not all of a sudden, but slowly we ease in to 5-year fixed rate money that drops down to about somewhere around 4%. I think it's going to shock people how fast the market could turn around if we do see interest rates easing over the next 12 months. I don't think it's going to happen in the next 3 months. I think realistically it's probably 6 months away, maybe more so spring of next year. But that's why I would say, hey, jump in, get short-term fixed money. And again, if you can afford to buy right now, I think it's a good time, because if rates do come down, you are going to see things slingshot. Anyways, it's Matt Santagapita for the Santa Sells Houses team. And again, this has been another episode of our Money Market Update.